morning, muscles. It's Mr. Folland. Today's Thursday. Remember, Good Morning Muscles is your daily Kickstarter, uploaded 6 a.m. on It's Mr. Folland's YouTube page. Wake up, do Good Morning Muscles, get stronger, and just kick off an amazing day. I'm pumped. Are you? So, how do we know the ocean is friendly? It waves! Alright, boys and girls, for our warm-up today. Our new warm-up game today is called Mr. Folland Has a Number Behind His Back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold either one finger behind my back or two fingers behind my back. If you guess correctly, you get to do whatever movement you want to all around your area. If you guess incorrectly, then you have to do the exercise that Mr. Folland chooses. So right now, Mr. Folland either is holding one finger up or two fingers up. If you guess correct, you can do whatever movement you want. If you're incorrect, the first time the movement that you're going to have to do is the windmill. On the count of 3, we're going to show what our number is. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Mr. Folland has two fingers. If you're holding up two fingers, you get to do whatever movement. If not, we're doing the windmill. Let's go. Reaching across our body, touch your toes, stand all the way back up. Try not to bend our knees. This is how we do fantastic windmills. Very good. And 2 more. And 1 more. Very good. All right, pick a number, 1 or 2 behind your back. If you guess correct, you get to do whatever movement you want to around your area. If you guess incorrect this time, it's jumping jacks. The number Mr. Folland chose on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a 2. If you guessed a 2, do whatever movement you want. If not, we're doing jumping jacks. I's and X's. Get those feet apart when those hands go up. When those hands go down, our feet go together. Very good. How fast can you do your jumping jacks? We're getting so strong, Mr. Folland feels his heart beating faster. Whenever that beats faster, it's getting stronger. And 3 more. And stop. All right. 1 or 2 fingers behind your back. If you guess correct, whatever movement you want to around your area. If you guess incorrect, toe touchers. 1, 2, 3. It's a 2. If you guessed a 2, you get to do whatever movement. If not, we're doing toe touches. Up belly toes. Oh, Mr. Folland feels like he's breathing pretty heavy after those jumping jacks. I feel myself getting stronger. Reaching up, touching your belly, touch your toes. And 2 more. And last one. All right, this time put your number behind your back. If you are correct, then you get to do whatever movement you want to around your area. If you are incorrect, mountain climbers. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a 2 again. If you guessed the 2, whatever movement. If not, mountain climbers. Keep your knees off the ground. Getting nice and strong today. And stop. All right, this time, if you're correct, whatever movement you want to. If you're incorrect, we're going to do some push-ups. Get your number ready. 1, 2, 3. It's a 2. If you guessed the 2, whatever movement. If not, we're doing push-ups. Feet together, back flat. All the way down. All the way up. Getting so strong. Don't let your knees touch the ground. If you get tired, put your knees down. Take 2 deep breaths, but then start going again. Very good. All right, let's do one more round. If you are correct, whatever movement you want to around your area. If you are incorrect, we're doing sit-ups. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's a 2. If you guessed correct, then you can do whatever movement. If not, we're doing sit-ups. So Mr. Fallon's going to put his feet underneath his couch. Arms across your chest. Go up to your elbows, touch your thighs. Keep your knees together. Very good. So strong. All the way up, all the way down. If you have somebody else at home, maybe they could stand on your feet if you don't want to put your feet underneath the couch. But this couch seems to work pretty well for Mr. Fallon. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And the last one. Hey. Good work. How was your guessing today, muscles? All right, it's now time for Spot Run Story Time. We're on chapter 23 of Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger. It's called Ears. Get up, get spot running. Wendy had 3 ears. Wendy had 3 ears, She had 1 ear on each side of her head, just like most people, but she also had a 3rd ear, which lay flat on the top of her head. You couldn't see it. It was completely covered by her thick, frizzy brown hair. She was an intelligent and lovely young woman. She was gentle and kind. At least she used to be. Then she met Xavier and became evil and wicked. But I'll get to that later. She lived in a small apartment in the big city. She always kept fresh flowers in the vase on her kitchen table. She didn't have any friends. She was afraid somebody might find out about her ear. She was very embarrassed by it. The one on top of her head, The other 2 were pretty, as ears go. Actually, the 3rd ear wasn't ugly. In fact, it looked just like the other 2. It was quantity, not quality, that bothered her. Then she met Xavier. It was at a museum. They happened to be standing next to each other looking at the same painting. The Mona Lisa. A guard stood to make sure they didn't touch it. Xavier was very handsome, but he was frightfully shy. He was afraid of women. That's a beautiful painting, isn't it? Said Wendy. Xavier blushed. He wanted to speak, but his mouth was locked shut with fear. It took all his courage just to nod his head. But Wendy knew he liked her, because there was something else about her ear I haven't told you yet. The one on top of her head, It didn't hear normal sounds. It heard people's brains. Wendy was able to listen to Xavier's secret thoughts, and this is what she heard. Yes, the painting is very beautiful, but you are more beautiful than the Mona Lisa. I wish somebody would paint you a picture. I would buy it and look at it all day. Alas, if only I had the courage to talk to you." Wendy didn't usually listen to other people's thoughts. She thought it was rude, even though the other people didn't know she was listening. Besides, most people's thoughts were usually boring. Xavier was getting too nervous standing next to her. He moved on to another painting. Wendy followed him. She listened to the lonely man's thoughts. They weren't boring at all. Most of his thoughts were about her. But she also learned a few other things. He liked to read. His favorite author was Charles Dickens. He loved animals, especially dogs. "The painting reminds me of a book," said Wendy. "A Tale of Two Cities" by Charles Dickens. Have you read it? "Yes," Xavier blurted a little too loudly. "It's my favorite book. I've read everything Dickens has written. Twice. My favorite part is what—" He suddenly stopped, very embarrassed. "Please go on," said Wendy. "No, I don't want to bother you," said Xavier. "You're not bothering me," said Wendy. "Charles Dickens is my favorite author. I sometimes read aloud to my dog." "You have a dog?" asked Xavier. Wendy nodded. Xavier stared into her dark eyes. "I love dogs," he said as his brain said, "I love you." Wendy and Xavier spent the afternoon together. He could hardly stop talking. It was like a genie had escaped from a bottle. All the love and emotion that had been buried for so long inside him came pouring out on Wendy. "I don't even know your name," he said suddenly. "Wendy Nogard," said Wendy. "I'm Xavier Dalton," said Xavier. They shook hands and made plans to meet again at the museum the following week. On her way home, Wendy stopped by the library and checked out A Tale of Two Cities. Then she went to the pet store and bought a dog. A month later, Xavier asked her to marry him. Wendy didn't know what to say. She loved Xavier, and she knew he loved her, but she still hadn't told him about her ear. The one on top of her head, I mean. He knew about the two others. He had nibbled on each one of them. "Marriage is a big step," she said. "I'm afraid we haven't known each other long enough." "I've known you long enough to know I could never be happy without you," said Xavier. "Before I met you, Wendy, I was sad and lonely, but I was used to it. Now I can't imagine living like that again. I don't know what I'd do without you." He stroked her hair. "Well, there's one thing you don't know about me," said Wendy. His hand bumped into it. "What's this thing?" he asked. "That's what I was going to tell you about, dear," said Wendy. Xavier parted Wendy's hair and looked at it. "It's an ear!" he exclaimed. "Yes, it is," said Wendy. "Some people have 2 ears. I have 3. Now that you know, if you still want to marry me, my answer is yes. Yes, sweetheart, yes." "I love you," said Xavier. "That's all that matters to me." That was what he said, but this is what he was thinking. "Oh, gross. You're disgusting. I never want to touch you again. I can't even stand to look at you. You tricked me. You freak. You monster." And of course, Wendy heard every word. He stood up. "I'll be right back, sweetheart. I bought you a diamond earring as an engagement present. I just need to run back to the jewelry store to buy one more." He hurried out the door. She never saw him again. I'm sorry to say the story has a sad ending. Xavier, thanks to Wendy, got over his shyness. He went out with lots of women, but he broke each one's heart. He could never love any of them. There was a hole in his heart, and he was in love with Wendy Nogard, but he didn't know it, and so he could never be happy. Wendy became a bitter and evil person. She was unhappy, and she wanted everyone else to be unhappy too. Whenever she heard someone thinking happy thoughts, she would listen closely and then do and say just the right thing to make the person feel rotten. She hated children the most. Every time she passed the playground, she heard them laughing and having fun. So she became a substitute teacher. Dun dun dun! Boys and girls, our steps for today. I can't wait for tomorrow to hear what's going to happen to these kids. This book is crazy.
Chosen third overall by the Chicago Bulls. Jordan quickly made his mark. His fan popularity soared league-wide, and he averaged over 28 points per game. Not surprisingly, he took home the Rookie of the Year title. Jordan's second season in the NBA was shortened due to a broken foot, but he was ready for 86-87. His per-game average was over 37 points that year, and he was the first player since Wilt Chamberlain to bank over 3,000 points in a single season. However, the Bulls were swept out of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics. Jordan was named League MVP for 1987-88 and won that title 4 more times throughout his career. His success forced teams to develop Jordan rules to throttle his efforts on the court. But despite his mega talent, Jordan remained without a championship for the first years of his career. Regardless, he was known as an offensive powerhouse and a clutch player. This was proven by a buzzer-beater move called the Shot that occurred during a 1989 playoff game against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
The inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win it!
By the 1990s, the Bulls were unstoppable. They took home the first NBA championship in franchise history in 1991, and this proved emotional for Jordan. That was the first year of the Bulls' first three-peat.
Is there a sense of completeness and fulfillment for you now that might not have been there for all your other achievements before?
Well, I wanted to get here. If we have
Game time, yeah! All right, for game time today, we are working on baseball, softball, t-ball skills. On Monday and Tuesday, we worked on some fielding. Yesterday, we worked on some softball pitching. If you missed any of those things, go back, watch them. So much fun, we got so strong. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to work on batting. We're going to do it inside, so we have to be a little bit careful. I know if I was batting inside with a baseball bat or a softball bat, something would get broken and I'd be in trouble. So we're not going to use a baseball bat. Instead, we're just going to use our hand. Boys and girls, if you want to learn all about batting with a real bat, look on It's Mr. Fallon's YouTube page and you'll find a batting video that you could go outside and do later on today. For our game today, you are going to need your jug, you're going to need a chair, and you are going to need your tape ball. The way we're going to do this today is we're going to take our tape ball. I'm going to put my chair like this, I think, just so you can see better. Hopefully that will work. You'll probably want to put your chair the other way, but I just want to make it so you can see. And Mr. Fallon's going to take his tape ball and put it on top of his jug like so. Now my challenge is to use my hand as my bat, and I'm going to try and hit the tape ball off of the tee without knocking anything over. I just want to hit the tape ball. So Mr. Fallon's going to get ready. I'm going to bring my hand back like it's my baseball bat. I'm going to step and swing and try to just hit the ball and not hit the jug. Let's see if Mr. Fallon can do it. Step and swing. Just like that. And not hit the jug. Mr. Fallon's going to get his ball. Put it back on his jug. Get ready. Bring my hand back. Step and swing. Just like that. Did you hit your jug? Keep your eye on the ball. If you watch the ball, you won't hit the jug. Don't watch where it goes. All right, bring my hand back. Step and swing. That one almost went out the window. I'm going to go get my ball again. Put it on my jug. Get my hand ready. Watch the ball. I don't want to hit the jug. Step and swing. Just like that. Boys and girls, that's tricky to do. Are you able to hit it without hitting your jug? If not, or even if you can, keep practicing it. Maybe you have somebody else at home that can catch the ball and throw it back to you after you hit it. So much fun. All right, muscles. That's it for today and Good Morning Muscles. Let's talk about what we have coming up. Tomorrow on Friday in Good Morning Muscles, we're going to be doing a shout box warm up. We're going to be having so much more fun, and we're going to be continuing to work on baseball, softball, and t-ball on game time. This weekend, Mr. Fallon wants to show you how he's going to get stronger. So what I'm hoping to do is Saturday morning, Mr. Fallon always wakes up first thing in the morning, and I run something called a marathon. Do you know what a marathon is? If you don't know what a marathon is, look it up. Mr. Fallon this weekend is going to try to take a video of his marathon, and you can see what a marathon is and what it takes to do a marathon. And boys and girls, Mr. Fallon's going to do that to hopefully inspire you to get outside, practice, and play a bunch, because next week on Good Morning Muscles on Monday, we're going to have a special Memorial Day warm-up, and actually a whole day dedicated to Memorial Day. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be starting our Spring Fitness Challenge. So you're going to want to be very strong. But that's what we have for next week. So today, let's get outside, let's practice, let's play a bunch, get so strong, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Good Morning Muscle!